Good morning, everybody. It's Dan, and it's Friday. Woohoo! Friday. Okay. So in today's video, what I wanted to talk to you about was maintaining a positive mindset and maintaining a motivation over a period of time. Because now I don't know about you, but I know about me. Okay, so let's talk about me for a second. My favourite subject. But I can use me as a guinea pig, as a test bed, because I know how I feel when I wake up. Good morning, Abby, hope you're well. So I know how I feel when I wake up, and sometimes I'm like, woohoo, and other times I'm like, no. So, and I don't think it always used to be like that. My 3.5-year-old, she wakes up, woohoo, all the time. Like, I don't know how she does that. But maybe it's because as a child, you've not gone through all the stuff you have to go through as an adult. Bills, bad debt, child abduction, not being able to see your kids, all that kind of thing, it takes you through it, doesn't it, sometimes? So that can be quite difficult. Good morning, Grant, hope you're well. Thanks for joining. So I think that when you're younger and you don't have any of these sort of pressures, we all remember being a kid was awesome, right? But that's because we didn't have any stuff that we had to deal with. Divorce, do you know what I mean? Businesses, tenants, let's put tenants in there. We had some fun and games with tenants yesterday. Handymen who won't answer the bloody phone for 4 days, and we've got keys and we've got tenants moving in. So we have all that stuff, and so it's really easy for your mindset to go down. And this is one of the reasons why I did NLP, because I wanted to understand how mindset works and how I can implement some of the stuff I learned there into my own life. And what's funny about when you go on an NLP course, by the way, everybody's broken. We're all going through something. That's why we went on the NLP course. It's cheaper than counselling, frankly. So, when I went through mine, that was 8 years ago. We just come off this situation with my kids where I've been abducted by mum. It was pretty horrific, and I felt at that time that if I needed something, and if you're ever going through separation and you're a man, you can't go see your doctor if you're feeling a little bit down, because it comes up on your report and try to stop you seeing your kids about it. So literally, if you don't know about that, then that's what happens. I'm telling you about from experience. So I needed personally to go through something where I could work out what are the strategies that I could just plug into if I'm not feeling it, like emotionally, motivation wise, and a positive mindset. And so there's some of the things that I learned. So we have little things that we do, we talked about some of these before, like setting gustatory anchors, for example. So every time we make a sale, or every time the money comes in from the sale, we spray ourselves with some aftershave, and then we smell it, and we're aligning ourselves. Good morning, Tony, thank you for joining. We're aligning ourselves into that smell, into that positiveness. And so before I come Facebook Live, I have a quick sniff of my aftershave, and it puts me back into that frame, that positive mindset. So that's an anchor that we can set. And you know about anchors already. You might not know the name for them, you might not know how to set them, but you have got them, and you have had them set for you. So take a song, for example, from an ex-partner, or their perfume or their aftershave. When you smell it, it will take you back and it will remind you of them. And we call that nostalgia, don't we? That's an anchor being set from a time in your past that makes you feel a certain way. Or it could be when you're watching Star Wars, for example. At the start of Star Wars, how they have the stars, and then the camera pans down, usually to a planet or something. Like, the first time I went to see Star Wars again in a long time, and I saw that, it took me right back to being a kid again, actually. That was an anchor that was set. So one of the things that you can do is you can set anchors. So you've got to just work out what the anchor is that you want. So one of my anchors is my fist. And so if I'm going to talk on stage and I'm feeling nervous, and I've not spoken on stage for quite some time, actually, but when I used to speak on stage, and I'd get really, really nervous, by the way, because it's just little old me, right? What do I know? How come I'm on stage? I'd feel nervous. So I'd have an anchor in my fist and I'd fire it off. So what that means is I would have to set the anchor first. So I would go back to a time when I felt really powerful and confident and funny and playful, and I would take each one of those and I'd step into it, and I'd feel like I was right there in that time. I'd see what I saw, I heard the sounds around me, I felt what I was feeling, being right there in that moment, and then I'd double it up and I'd stack it onto my fist, and then when I fire off my anchor, it would fire off playful, happiness, confidence, being funny, all of that kind of thing. So that's one like little thing that you could do, but you have to do it before you need it. There's no point in thinking, oh my gosh, I need this, I need to feel great, and not having any anchors stacked. So, you know, it's like the aftershave thing that I do, and people think, you're so crazy, and I like being crazy, thank you very much. But this stuff works, right? So, by the way, when I went on the radio station in LA just a few days ago, because, you know, I'm famous, I sprayed the anchor. It's an aftershave I don't normally use, although actually I'm probably going to start using it, because why not feel good all the time? The problem with anchors is if you're using it all the time, is it dissipates over time. So you want to use it for those set periods that you need it. But how do you wake up on a morning and feel great when actually sometimes life's hard? I mean, I get that life's hard. I have a hard life sometimes, you know? Like this week dealing with tenants and handymen has been very frustrating for me, and it's one of those where you're relying on other people and other people are letting you down, and you're explaining to them, you are letting me down and you're causing me stress and frustration, and they don't even bother to respond. So it's like, there's a couple of things there that I just want to delve into, because it's like, if you're putting your future into the lowest common denominator, so let's take DSS tenants as an example. You can have a DSS tenant, they don't pay, they don't move out, and they trash your place, okay? And I've seen landlords go, oh, I'm not doing it anymore, that's it, I've had enough, I'm going to sell everything, and I'm not doing it. And I understand that, but what you're allowing is a person who hasn't got a job, hasn't got a positive mindset, possibly, is on DSS, is maybe not well educated. Now, I know these are sweeping statements, and I don't care, so deal with it. So let's just assume all that. Then they trash your house, and then they're not paying, and they don't care if they pay or not, right? And we've had these tenants. And so you're then basing your entire future timeline, should be this way, shouldn't it? Your entire future timeline is then based on this person who's refusing to pay you, who's not got a job, who's not gone through the training that you've gone through, who's not gone through the stuff that you're going through. So what you've got to do is you've got to put it in perspective. In 20 years' time, will you care that this tenant trashed your house and didn't pay? No, of course you won't. You'll be living next to me in a villa in Spain, hopefully. Will you care about that in 10 years? No. Will you care about it in a year? Maybe, but probably not. In 6 months, maybe, you'll have gone to court, you'll have evicted them, you're now putting new carpets in and refreshing the place, and then you're about to put a new tenant in. So actually, if you could just get over this hurdle, because this is the thing that you need to understand. I've got an itchy neck today for some reason. The mosquitoes are out, so I'm just wondering if I got bit. Anyway, so this is what you've got to understand, is that as you're going forward, which forwards is futures that way. So as you're going forward through life, you've got to understand that you're going to have these hurdles to get over. And if you think going forward in life, you're going to have no hurdles, you're wrong. You see, the sign of hurdles or getting obstacles to get over is a sign that you're going somewhere. Those people who don't have obstacles, who don't have hurdles, they try and avoid them like the plague, and they end up not going anywhere, and they just stay exactly still, exactly where they are. Because, as Tony Robbins would say, you're either growing or you're dying. You're doing one or the other, not both. You're either growing or you're dying. And progression is a sign of growth. Are you going to come up against obstacles? Yeah, of course you are. But we talked about this in a previous session, where if you're a level 1 person, okay, let me use a different pen because I left the lid off this pen overnight. If you're a level 1 person and you've got a level 2 problem, okay, that's a problem. How do you overcome that? So what happens is, going through these obstacles that you're going through, you're growing as a person. You're getting more experience, you're getting wiser, you're getting more things that have happened that you can make these connections. That's what intelligence is, okay? So you have to grow to become bigger than a level 2 problem. You become a level 3 person, okay? Then guess what happens when you have when you're a level 3 person? That's right, you get level 4 problems, right? Which are bigger than all the other problems you've had. And that's because if you're a level 3 person, you have a level 2 problem. Well, it's easy, I've dealt with that. And I've got the experience, I know what I'm doing. That's why actually failing fast and failing forward is the key. Fail as quickly as you can. We're running Facebook ads to to the giveaway that we're doing, and they're not working, right? So we tried to boost. We just thought we'd try it and see what happens. So we boosted it just to see what would happen, and they're totally not working. But that's okay, because that is a level 4 problem that we yet don't know how to solve. And to be frank, we've not really spent a lot of time looking at it. But guess what? Through that learning experience, which we're going to do and go, because we've not done Facebook ads in ages, so we're just about to start running that again. So what will happen there is I become a level 5 person. Awesome. Guess what happens then? I get a level 6 problem. You know, out of all the properties, we've got a handyman who's not answering his phone. We're just solving that. We put adverts out. We've got new handymen coming in. I'm now a level 7 person. We've changed the way in which we deal with handymen. We've got 3 now who are up and running. Great. Well, I'm going to have a level 8 problem. One of the handymen is going to run off with all the keys. Great. So now we've become a level 9 person, and we work out, is it a better way for us to handle the keys? Well, of course it is. So then we become, so that's level 10. So then we become a level 11 person. Do you see how this works? This is growth right here. But sometimes it feels like when everything happens all at once, it doesn't feel like growth. It's like, and by the way, it's like, oh my gosh, my life is so bad, my life is so hard, why does nothing ever work for me, why is life so difficult, everything happens at once. And then we go into this negative self-talk, which is, I'm so crap, it always happens to me, why does this always happen to me, you're useless at everything, you're a piece of shit, all this negative stuff comes up, okay? So this is like stuff from when you were a kid, because when you were a kid, you know, think about this. You could puke and poop and pee everywhere as a baby, and all you ever got in life was cuddles. Everybody loved you, even though you were sick all over them. You papped everywhere, all up your back, all in your nappy. We've all had to change nappies like that, haven't we? So, but when you were a kid, nobody cares. Everybody loves you. And then suddenly what happens, you get into being a toddler and you get these boundaries that you don't like as a toddler, and so you go over the boundaries, then you get told off, okay? And for some people you get told off a lot because parenting, 40 years ago, in the 70s, my goodness me, parenting was different, shall we say, than it is today, that's for sure, okay? I apologise if there's any noise in the background, someone's cutting the lawn, it's 9 AM, that's what we do here in Spain. So, then you get older, you get into your teens, and boy, you have to really fight for that affection, for that love. Nobody gives you hugs, nobody gives you cuddles, nobody tells you love you, all that stuff, okay? And so what happens is that when we're born, we're like this shining beacon of light, okay? And then as we get older, we get told that you're useless, you'll amount to no good. Thank you, Mr. Jones at Templemore High School, for telling me that I would amount to no good. I hope your retirement income pays for your villa in Spain. Pretty sure it doesn't. So, so you get told all this stuff, okay? And that like beacon of light gets covered in dirt and mud and shit and crap, and eventually the beacon of light, it feels like it's going out, okay? And it's not going out. It's just hidden underneath all these layers of stuff, all this negative stuff. And your job as a grown-up is to remove all this stuff and just remember that you've got that beacon of light, and just remember that you are more powerful today than you've ever been at any point in your life. Today, right now, however old you are, first of all, if you're going through bad stuff, you're still here, okay? And the story doesn't end. Most people in a 12-chapter book, not most people who are thinking about ending it are ending it on chapter 6. I want to wait and see how this stuff ends up. Do you know what I mean? But we are this beacon of light, and we're more powerful than we've ever been in our entire lives. We've got access to technology, more technology at any point in human history. I can take this video and podcast and go and send it out to all sorts of places. We can run loads of Facebook ads to it and get loads of people to watch it. We can literally change our life. And I'm filming this on an old iPhone 5S, okay? It's an old crappy iPhone with a cracked screen. And I don't use my fancy phone. There's reasons why, but there's technical reasons why. But the iPhone works better for doing these. But you don't even need a lot of money. You can pick one of these phones up for 50 quid, right? If you can't get 50 quid, go wash 5 cars at £10 each, or 10 cars at £5 each, or 50 cars at £1 each, or something, right? There's no excuse. You can get Wi-Fi. You can stand outside the Apple store and film yourself on Wi-Fi if you've got no cash. There's no excuse, because we've got access to all the latest technology, and more important than that, you are the most powerful you have ever been in your life. So do you remember, where's my red pen? Here, when life used to be like this, you used to be a level 1 person, or a level 3 person, or even a level 2 person, or a level 5 person. And now you're operating at this level. These continue, by the way, to infinity and beyond. These levels just keep on going, okay? Richard Branson is like a level 658,238,301, okay? He's going to get, whatever I said, +1 as a problem, and he's going to have to go in and solve that. But Richard Branson's got all this experience of being Richard Branson for the last 50, 60 years. How old is he? 60-something years. So he's more powerful than he's ever been. I'm 45. I've gone through child abduction. I've gone through losing cars because I couldn't afford to pay the monthly payments. It's quite some time ago, but it happened, right? I've gone through having issues with paying mortgages because when I was going through my separation, I stuck my head in the sand and all I really did was end up in court going and battling for my kids, right? So I've gone through all that. And then we've come out the other side with all this experience, tons and tons and tons of life experience. Why do you think people pay me £300 an hour for coaching? Why do people come to the villa for help? And it's because of all this experience that we've got. And not just the experience, but the knowledge that we've got, because we're continually learning. Because when I wake up tomorrow, if I'm operating at level 5 and I have a level 6 problem, wouldn't it be nice to already have the knowledge to deal with a level 6 problem? We're constantly watching, we're constantly listening, we're constantly reading to stuff that can help us move forward. Because as a powerful human being, I want to be prepared for that next level. I'm also in training, both physically, from a mindset point of view, from a motivational point of view, so that when the next thing happens, I've got the physical strength to deal with it, the emotional strength to deal with it, the mindset, the positive mindset enough to deal with it. I've also got access to resources that maybe I didn't have before. Because I'll tell you, if you're a level 3 person, you've got a level 4 problem, wouldn't it be nice to pull in some resources of people who are at level 7 and can tell you how to deal with a level 4 problem? That's what coaching is. So I think the key that you should really take away from this is that you are the most powerful person you've ever been right now. And you've got the ability to change your life right now. You can wake up on a morning and you can go, oh, my life's so rubbish, I've got all this massive problem and I'm a level 1 person and I've got a level 4 problem, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, solve it. Go get yourself a level 10 person and they will help you solve these smaller problems, okay? That's what coaching does. Always go get a coach who's further on than you are, but who's gone through your stuff and come out the other end and you say, oh, what are you doing that for? Just do this, and that will fix it. And you're like working through it, trying to find a way to fix it, and this person comes in and goes, oh, just do that. And it's fixed. But the key I think I really want you to take away from this is that right now you are the most powerful person you've ever been, and you can change it like that. Right, that will do us for today. That's my inspirational, motivational mindset. Yeah. So I hope you liked it. If you listen to this on a podcast, go sign up on iTunes and give us a 5-star review. We're getting those coming in. That's really nice. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you that does this. And that's the only reason why we do these, is because people do listen and people do watch. Sometimes it might not be live, but sometimes it is. But we know, because we've seen the stats, people are listening to this stuff and they're watching this stuff. We see how much of the video people actually watch. And it's good, right? So thank you so much. And I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll catch up with you in our next Facebook Live on Monday. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care.